Okay, I'm live. And I'm alive. Hi, everyone. No, I wasn't not alive. And I wasn't in court like all the cool kids. You're nobody till somebody sues you. I'm going to sue people for not suing me. Sued means viewed. So I've got some mead that my stepson made. He's a chef. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm going to have some of this mead. I had a sip yesterday. It's pretty strong. He made it with honey and blood oranges. Hi, everyone. Oh, the bus pulled up. I've got Jagunda lashes on because my friend Lindsay sent me these magnetic lashes, which I tried and did on the Patreon. They might be wonky now because I've had them on for a while. But hey, Cat's the Hammer Rule. Martha, Mrs. 10 Years After. Low Robbie, Cat's Mama J. Martha 1668, a wonderful year. And hi, Rose, Beauty Boomer, April S, Michelle, Wendy, Bernie, Ravencraft. Hi, everybody. Leslie, what? This was very impromptu, so I really appreciate you all coming in here on a Saturday with such short notice. But I've been away for a couple of minutes, and I wanted to come back. I'm sorry if I'm readjusting to my bridge work, so I might sound a little funny. Oh, Leslie, you're on a break. That's awesome. Have a great night. Thanks for popping in. This is mead, Rose. This is, I was just saying my stepson made this out of honey and blood oranges, and we're going to give it a try. But, you know, just sniffing it kind of tingles the nose hairs, and I don't hold booze very well. I think the last time I had alcohol was in Houston last December. So thank you. I put on these lashes, and this is Laroc. I did a look on Patreon. You guys can see me on Patreon. I also have Two True Crime, and I'll link it below. That's something I do with Dee, ex Davita. I'll link her channel as well. But we have a crime podcast that we really like. Hi, Caitlin. How are you? Okay. Thank you, Mandy, for coming in. So I wanted to talk about a stream I just saw. I haven't really felt like there was too much to talk about. Wait, let's try this first and get this out of the way. Oh my God. Ooh, my boy makes the best moonshine this side of the Mississippi. Is it a gnome? Is it Santa? Is it an elf? We don't know. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something because for a while I haven't really felt like talking about much, and I've been so bummed out because my friend had died in July, and you'd think I was the only person who ever lost somebody, but I really feel I'm coming back out of it, you know, pulling out of this quarantine and everything else funk. I had such a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you all did too. If I seem all happy and lovey, I swear I only had a sip of this. To just my overall mood. I'm high on life, honeys. High on life. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate you. So are you, thanks, Cam. Are you guys interested in hearing me rant about the Perez Hilton live stream? Did you guys see any of that? I saw a link on the Twitter. There's been a lot of Perez Hilton drama on the Twitter. And I have something to say. F that guy. First of all, I used to like him and support him, even when I knew people didn't like him very much. I felt like he was trying to change. Maybe his fall from grace humbled him, and his world had gotten so small. He went from being, you know, the person who started all this to a guy who couldn't really get a whole lot of views. And I felt that was interesting, and I like to see people. Hi, Lindsay. I can't believe you're awake either. So I felt like he went from this to that. Oh, hi, Mama J. Yes, I saw that, Aaron. So I saw, that's the stream that I saw. And I'll link it below this too, if anybody wants to watch it on Aaron's channel. You probably link it from here too. But to me, he was somebody who had this drastic change that was very interesting to me, to see him go into this smaller world. And he had amassed quite a bit of money, if you could believe the interwebs. Who knows? But it seemed to me he had amassed a lot of money from his success. And he had these children, and he seemed to be a good dad. But he not only says inappropriate things, he says inappropriate things to young people. And Margo Indigo had shined a light on this. Was saying, these things you're saying are not okay. And he took issue with a certain P word. And immediately, you know what, Aaron, I kind of wanted somebody to jump on him, even though he said, let me talk. He said, let me speak and get this off my chest. He gave the wrong definition of the P word. He was associating, and I apologize for having to be cryptic, but he was associating it with action, when in fact, the definition of that word has to do with your feelings. And later, he gave it that definition, and other people refuted it. Margo said that wasn't the definition. But that is absolutely the definition. It is about feelings. If you have feelings you shouldn't have, you are that word. Okay? So people pointed out some things that he said to young people that he never should have said. Cute dong was one of them. I'm, the other word for difficult. Things were making him happy, if you know what I mean. So these are things he says. He's like, well, I own it. I own it. I know I did that and I own it. No, you didn't. Saying you own it is not taking responsibility. You are in your 40s. You shouldn't need people half your age to tell you that those things are inappropriate. So regardless of what his intentions are, regardless of what he labels himself, my message to Perez, if he could see this, is stop it. Stop telling everybody how good you are and stop being inappropriate. Okay? Because you aren't what you say, you are what you do. And what you have done fits Margo's definition. And you need, as a parent, I can't believe you need to be told this, not just somebody older, somebody who has children. You need to know that there are certain things you do not do and say. Cut it the hell out, because we must protect children. I have no gray area about that. So somebody says, I believe he had sold it. He sold it and he went this route. But thank you, Caitlin. It was difficult to witness, Caitlin, but I'm really sick of these people who I've seen this with. Remember Joy, that a lot of people didn't like Joy Sparkle BS? People had to tell her too, stop talking to a 6th grader like they're a grown-up. Okay, it has nothing to do with being the P word. You're just being inappropriate. What kind of effed up Peter Pan syndrome do you have that you don't understand? We don't deal with children the same way we deal with adults. You don't talk to a child and joke with someone's kid the way you would with an adult. And if you need to be told that, you are the problem. So I fully understood what people were saying to him. And I really liked that Margo didn't give him the slack. Instead, she said, if you don't like the definition of that word, stop being it. I don't think it's okay the way some of these people talk. Just kind of like why I'm still turned off to Shane. And I know everybody deserves a second chance and should, deserves to be able to live down their past. Okay. But I can't get past somebody interrogating an 11-year-old about when she's going to get her monthly, or saying what he said about a child's hair that was a child of color. Those are things that are not jokes, that are, they were, some of the stuff he did was a little premeditated, but I didn't mean to make it about him. I'm just saying I'm pretty sick of having to live in a society where we have to tell people children must be protected, and you need to have a certain amount of reverence and understanding when you deal with children. Okay, these jokes that he thinks were funny, and he's like, well, she attacked me. She's a little kid. That doesn't mean you say things that are inappropriate to her. Hi, Karen Metz and Wallace. Thank you so much. Thank you. I wasn't dead or in court. I know all the cool people are in court nowadays. I'm just not popular enough to have a lawsuit, I guess. We'll see. We'll just see. Has everybody noticed that there are drama channels? There are people. Hey, Devil Wears Chocolates. There are people who are, that's what I'm looking for, taking it up a notch. Like they're trying to make it, about hard. They're trying to create problems and create waves because they have to be kept in their YouTube lifestyle, and they will do anything. The entertainment now is watching people hanging onto their YouTube paycheck with their fingernails. He did come for her sobriety. And I actually had something to say about that on Twitter. He was saying that Yes, I was trying to hurt her. Yes, I was definitely gonna. I went low like her. I stooped to her level. Yada yada. Like basically, I said, "Are you listening to yourself?" Ginny says, "I just have to say her name if I want a lawsuit." I said, "Are you listening to yourself? You're saying that you will say anything to win." This is a good time to remind people like Perez that there's nothing to be won or lost in Twitter feuds, in online feuds with strangers on social media. What are you trying to win? Like, I know she called me this bad word. Instead of disproving it and showing her that she's wrong, I'm going to find the most hurtful thing to call her, which, by the way, she says it doesn't hurt her at all, but none of us like to hear it. It's inappropriate. She's pulled herself up in a way that few people can, and she deserves understanding. She deserves credit for that, but also she deserves to be able to live down her past, and that is her business, and she's an incredibly strong person, but she's also a no-nonsense person. So she didn't pull her punches with Perez. She's like, no. She's like, yes, she will say to your face everything that she would say online. And I like that. And I like people who protect children and say, no, you don't get to say things like that, to be inappropriate and disgusting. No. He has a double standard also. So this is mead. This is, well, it's mead that my stepson, who's a chef, made, but I think of it as moonshine. It's a family recipe. It says Caitlin says he is just very inappropriate and gross. No one's business but hers. Absolutely. Absolutely. And he was like, yes, I said these things and I own it. I own it. I said and done things I regret. Yes, and I own it. Thank you, Bonnie Bell. Yes, you have done things that you regret. I think this is from Susan, actually. Susan Gay. You've done things you regret. Here's a thought. Stop doing them. Stop it. That's my bridge in my mouth. Stop it. Morning, Dottie Savage in the UK. Hello, across the pond. Watching from New Zealand, Tony Rutherford. I was just listening to somebody from New Zealand, and I'm sorry I don't know his name, but he was on the podcast My Brother and Me, because they're doing, I don't know if you watched that or listened to that podcast, but they're doing Till Blart Do We Part, or Till Death Do We Blart, which is every year they review the same movie, part 2 of Paul Blart Mall Cop. Cheers. Caitlin says right there with you. So happy to be here. Oh, thank you so much. You're so kind and supportive. Wow. It is, it's not that dark, but it could be the lighting. It's actually an amber color. It's made with honey and blood orange. You can make it yourself. You just put honey, water, blood orange, and yeast. And the yeast eats the sugar in the honey, but not all of it. It's very sweet, but I have to tell you, very strong. Woo! Even the smell of it. I probably just shouldn't smell it. I should just sip it. But it tastes to me a little bit like moonshine, and I'm not much of a drinker. Who knows what I'll say if I drink this whole glass? Oh, I'll get my lawsuit yet. And then I'll be like the cool drama channels. I'll see you in court. I'll pick out my outfit, and I'll go right in there. Go right there into court and go, I'm allowed to give my opinions. I like how that channel, without a crystal ball, without a crystal dictionary, because she doesn't know that caveat does not mean disclaimer, and she thinks people were pinning her against each other. Not pitting. Okay, so I'll see you all in court, Katie. I want to be there and defending my friends. With my glasses that I wear. Susie Bledsoe, attorney at law, my much maligned client. She was wearing her name on her shirt, and at the same time, this was the weird thing. Okay, let's switch gears from Perez to Without a Crystal Clue. That's the name that keeps on giving, but she had a video that came out the other day after she'd been piled on, and this is where it gets weird. Hi, Justin Graves. It gets weird here because on the one hand, I want to say this is a person who needs help, and I don't need to be part of the pile-on, right? I don't need to be part of this pile-on. This person needs help. This is not productive. This is not, all the things that suck the drama fun out of the room. I was kind of feeling about this. And one of the reasons I didn't want to do any vlogging for the last couple of months is because here I'm talking about people I don't like, and the person one of the people I loved most in the world is no longer in the world. But I've got to talk about people I don't like because those fairy lights don't keep themselves on. So I'm watching her video, and it's very hard to feel sorry for her because the video I'm watching the other day, after I knew she had put a strike on 2 channels, both Allie Truth Sleuth and Creepshow Art. She put strikes on their videos. Now, she deleted her comments under her video that went up that night, but not before I got a screenshot. And I just happened to be in the right place at the right time because I had been watching their videos. So I clicked on her channel, which I do like maybe once a week. And she had this thing up, and I'm like, oh, here she is in the comments, because I always read comments. And here she is saying, well, I didn't strike those channels because of their name, LOL. And I took a copy of that because I knew she was going to take that down. And she did. She did. She said it wasn't about her name. But then they were told that it was for that reason, about her name. She didn't give any other reason. And when they tell you there's a strike on your channel, they'll tell you why. And in this case, it happened to be because of her name. Hi, Raven Thunder. Hi, Ginny. So she was saying it was because of her name. I know Toddy is suing her. I know. Let me back up a little. When I first saw the Toddy thing, I thought, I don't know a lot about this. I listened to what the lawyer was saying. I listened to what other people were saying. I listened to the first few pages when it's Nick Snyder read it. Nick Snyder. I swear I've only had 2 sips of this moonshine so far. And to me, I'll be honest, it sounded like 34 pages of she was mean to me. Like a mean girl manifesto. She was mean to me. And I'm pretty, so that's against the law. Like, what's happening? First of all, they have something in common. Both Toddy and the other person, without a crystal ball, have murdered ing at the end of a word. They replaced it with EEN, and I'm going to sue them both for that, okay? I'm suing. That's going to be upsetting that I'm suing. I want to talk with my bridge talk. I'm going to sue the both of you with your silly speech. So anyway, she said it wasn't about the name. But that was the message that Creepshow and Allie got, was that she did that because of her name. And I remember Allie saying, and I'm sorry I don't have an update on this, but she was saying she had to review her stuff and that she was going to take her name out. While she's doing this video, she's wearing a hoodie without a crystal ball that has her name on it. She continues to introduce herself, just like I say, hi, Rich Lux. $2.99. All right, YouTube's going to take half of that, but I'm going to get me some more moonshine. Thank you, Rich. Nice to see you. So she said she was going to change all of the names on there and then re-put her stuff up. So there's Without a Crystal Clue with her name on her hoodie. And she's doing a video where she's not telling her audience at all that she just put a strike on 2 channels, but instead she's doing this feed the world salt of the earth thing. Like, I'm a good person. I'm going to focus on being nice, and we should all keep doing. But Ginny, you just said his name. I'll see you in court. You just don't say Rich Lux. That's his privacy. You just doxed him. I'm sorry. Okay, maybe this stuff does work fast. I don't know. Jesus. This drama is driving me to drink. So, then Katie said, oh, let me get my brother's an attorney. I better get him on the horn. Oh no. Chris, it's your baby sister Kerry in a bit of a pickle. It seems I'm having a legal issue. Oh, drink your drama juice. Oh my God, that is so funny. It's my drama juice. It's mead. Pinot, Caitlin, I like Pinot Noir better than Pinot Grigio. But anyway, she who shall not be named, KM says, without a crystal gall. Okay. she had said on her video that she just thinks everybody should be nice. Does she not know how her channel got started? So Lindsay says, say her name 3 times and a cease and desist letter will appear. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I start my channel like, hi, this is Kerry, the nosy housefrau. That would be like me if somebody went to another channel and said, Kerry, the nosy housefrau, and I was like, how dare you? But you know what I think? I honestly think that was done to get their information, because when you have to counter, you have to give your information. I am devil. You have to give your info. So when they would do that, she would probably pull a Mango. Do you remember when Mango wanted Allie's information and a certain housefrau saw that coming a mile of friggin' way? And I said, you want her info so you can dox her. Oh, no, 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 no. He waited. It was like 10 days. Got her information. 3 seconds later, doxes her. Doxes her just like we all said he would. And then what does he do? Act like it's an accident. He starts doing his question asking. You know when people start do these videos and they ask the questions for themselves, like they're giving themselves a hard time on the hot seat. Should I have done that? No. Should I have doxed her? No. Like that wasn't my best moment. But you premeditated that for weeks. You premeditated that for weeks. This stuff is making me sassy. Hi, Dana. I mean, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I thank you and my critters thank you. Making up for lost time for all those videos I haven't done. Raven says, Stephen Mango was so mistreating to you when the whole Scientology thing, like I was fascinated and then he got all funky. Oh, you thought he was interesting to you initially. He was counting on that. He liked to portray himself as being one man, as he called it, one man going up against a big, cult, which was kind of funny because he lives in LA and you can find a lot of people who are ex-Scientologists in LA, but he was exploiting his own thing. Ginny says, did you see Creepshow say somebody has been trying to hack into her accounts? Yes, I did. And it was very interesting how she put it together. It wasn't just her. She figured out that her and 2 other people who are also in the outs, or, had been on the radar, it could have had something to do with who knows what. There are a few of them. And now me after this, who have had people try to break into their Instagram. Go ahead. What are you going to find? A picture of my dead cat? Someone said there's another one. You can say the name 3 times. Yeah. So that's that's really strange. And I think that because of the way she's behaved, it's not difficult for people to believe. Now, I wanted to back up. I was saying that Tottie's case, to me at first, I thought she doesn't have much of a leg to stand on. Now, speaking for these United States, not Australia or some other countries where it's a lot easier to sue for defamation. In the United States, you have to prove that not only did this person affect your income, but that they intended to. And that's a lot harder of a case to prove, especially when you've had sales that just get better and better and better. However, there were some things that she said that didn't have the disclaimers like, this is my opinion or I suspect this. I think she may have made the mistake, and it may cost her. She may have made this mistake of saying certain things about James Westbrook, who she tried to make. I mean, she painted him like he was Scarface. I didn't know who the guy was before. And she made him look terrible. And I think she may have said things about him that didn't sound like they were opinion, but that she was saying it like fact. Thank you, Caitlin. My raccoons are great. As a side note, yes. I love them. So, yeah, and my stepson was really surprised when he was over for Thanksgiving and raccoons came to the back door for theirs. They wanted to give thanks too. Oh, thank you, Desiree. I did lashes from my friend Lindsay. Everybody thank Lindsay. She sent me magnetic lashes, and I love them. I love them so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you. You guys have sent me DMs, and I have to say, often we say like the internet can be a bad place, but if you're captain of your own ship and you steer away from certain things, you will see that there are countless, countless wonderful people. I'm going to cry if I think about it, but I remember I had this realization the other day that I can't really express to people what they've done for me by celebrating my life in any way. It's something I grew up without, so I really appreciate it. The magnet lashes are so great. Yeah, Caitlin, yes, James had charges, whatever. A lot of people, yes, you're right. She's wrong. I don't understand what she was trying to prove by saying that, by the way. Mrs. 10 years, oh, thank you. I'm not going to read that aloud because I'll just be too embarrassed. And I'll look like I'm blushing and not just flushed from the alcohol. Mm. Yeah, I think it's very strange when people try to dig up stuff on people that they're not hiding and want to say oh, thank you so much, Terrence. We did love Turkey Day. It was the best. You guys, thanks to my patrons, I was able to replace my stove because I had to pay for the deductible. And the same week, the furnace broke. Greg Gardens is falling apart. And I was able to fix those things. And I'll tell you, it made me feel so good. I didn't know my stove was so bad. It was slowly dying. It was in the throes of death. And I thought just my cooking wasn't as good as I thought it was. I'm like, oh, it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. And oh, good, Bunny. I want to see them. I want to see your raccoons. And then when I got the new stove, I was like, oh my God, what a game changer. I can't believe this. I had my turkey in. I have the guy who put it in. They took away the old stove, and I'm not kidding. It was older than the guys who took it away. It was really old. It was like so old. And then I didn't even realize it. Hi, Raphael. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And then they put in the new stove, and the guy's like, this is a convention oven. And I was like, oh, a convention? Do I have to go downtown to the Marriott? I love to meet new people. I was like, I think you mean convection. He's like, convection. I was like, okay. I was going to get a name tag. Hello, my name is Kerry. But the convection oven, look at how popular Raphael is. Everybody's like, hey, Raphael. Sure, he definitely is worthy of it. No, it wasn't avocado green, Guy, but it looked like one that would be in the kitchen that had avocado green. It was, gosh, I don't even know what color it was. It was whitish, somewhere under there. It was pretty bad. They made it after Pompeii happened. I know that. We might have been the first oven that wasn't like made from mud. So this one, it's a game changer. Let me tell you, I'm going to be making the macarons. I'm going to be making my own breads, and it's got a dehydrator. So I'm going to be making my own sun-dried tomatoes and putting them in the jaws with the olive oil. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, Thomas. So are you. And so I had, picture this, Tom Turkey, which I'm not going to lie. It feels very Hannibal Lecter that time of year for me doing the turkey, but I do it because it's like I put it in a bag in the roaster, in the bag. Okay, after I, season it and put the stuffing in, my mother's stuffing. And then I put the bag around it, and then I put it on 300 for 4 hours, 14-pound turkey. Perfect. Succulent bird. I put pictures of it on the Twitter. Somebody said I've been making homemade bread. Desiree, it's so good. There was a woman who she was selling homemade bread by the side of the road, and it got so popular she would sell out in minutes. And then she got her own restaurant. And then she killed a guy, and she's in jail. She doesn't make bread anymore. Wow, that took a turn fast. But you'll hear about her. That's a good segue. Good time to plug my crime podcast with Dee. 2 true crime podcasts. Wasn't it 4 sips? Was anybody counting? Because it's really hitting me already. But we do a podcast, Dee and I, where we will talk about crimes, famous and non, and we'll tell you what happened, and then we'll tell you what we think happened, and we do have our thoughts. Dee is from Massachusetts. I am from New York, and our personalities just kind of mesh. We do well, and we're very no nonsense with our opinions about the crime. I really appreciate you. I did. Somebody said, I'm late. If you haven't talked about crystal ball yet, can you? Let me just tell you this. You got to hand it to her. I don't know if this was on purpose or not, because I don't think it was actually, but she's the talk of the town. She is, not for any reason you'd want to be, but I think being hated is the shortcut to fame for a lot of people. It's a shortcut to YouTube success. She was going through vital statistics on people, but then flags videos where they say her name. You can't don't even try to make it make sense. It can't. um, Somebody says, I don't think she wants to be hated. She's just dumb and weird. No, Carla, she didn't. But it was like she said she killed him because she didn't feel like driving the long drive to his house for the custody. That's on you. That's on the interwebs too. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Caitlin. You're so kind and supportive. I have some people who are so nice to me that it makes me think people are going to think that's me. People are going to think I made that account. Who the hell else would talk about somebody like that if they weren't their mother? But it's so kind. Lately, I've had this theme. What do you think of this? Pick somebody in your life and eulogize them. I'm not trying to be macabre, but eulogize somebody, because I noticed in the last year, having lost people, people say things about people at their funeral that feel like complete truth bombs, but you know that person probably didn't hear that kind of thing when they were alive. And the best of people, of course, becomes this hindsight is 2020 thing. But lately, I've been making a point to, if I see something about somebody that I think is true, I like to tell people what their strengths are and what I see in them that's good, because they should hear that now. So you can write it out, give it to somebody in a card. Say something about somebody that is so kind but so true that they're almost a little embarrassed. But people deserve, like, I like to tell people, I'm like, do you know that you have this quality? Because sometimes we don't. We're always so busy trying to find out what's wrong with ourselves and fix ourselves. We don't need to be fixed. And we don't really always realize what we've done for people and what we mean to them. Somebody said Nick and Dustin were low-key surprised I didn't see it coming. I did, Raven. I saw it coming. And I did know about it for a little bit, but it wasn't my story to tell. But I'm very, very happy. Somebody says, I appreciate your diplomacy, but I hope you end up falling down that crystal ball rabbit hole and pull out a video. I'm doing one right now, honey. I'm doing Tipsy Truth Time. But I did go down that rabbit hole quite a bit. I saw how it started. And when she was online the first time, I saw that there was conflict, and I just kind of avoided it because I just saw miscommunications and I couldn't really get a read on her. But now I see her doing stuff like that Mango used to do, where she is saying stuff about people or doing stuff to people, doxing them, and it's okay when she does it. She'll act like it's an accident. You really can't do it better than Creepshow Art, who has expressed it so well. Hi, Glammy Lammy. Nick and Dustin seem like a good match. I think so too. They're drama's power couple now. As long as I do the video in my James Charles voice, let's talk about him. He's fighting with, okay, I shouldn't talk about her because she's working so hard to be talked about. But James Charles and then Trish Paytas was fighting. She's absolutely one person who is staying in the light, staying talked about. She wants to remain front page news because that's where her bread is buttered. And she went off on James Charles. It's a damn joke when Trish Paytas goes off on people. She had talked about when she was on Frenemies. She said that she didn't know that who was a bad person until she watched The Producers. And I pulled up a video that somebody had posted around 2013, 2014, but it was from her like 2009, I think 2010 trolling videos. And in that video, right next to the new one, she said the same thing. She said she didn't know who was a bad guy until she watched The Producers around springtime for who in Germany. She said that's how she knew he was a bad person. And I'm like, and then I put in between the video of her saying, I don't troll anymore. I used to troll. And then right after that, her saying the same thing she said. She's really, I call it better to ask forgetfulness than permission. She's counting on people not remembering stuff. So then she goes off on James and he's like, there is no reason for her. I shouldn't give her attention, but here I am. Okay. So it worked. And she is only famous because she did this, she did this, she did this, she did this. That's the only reason anybody's talking about her. I'll lose my bridge work if I try to do the James Charles voice. But the fact is, this is all coming from a guy who got his career from a lie. and everybody knows it, from a guy who ripped off other people. The self-righteousness of these horrible people is beyond belief. This is why I need my drama juice. As Rich Lux called it, drama juice. It's my moonshine, my Tipsy Time moonshine that my stepson made for me. Mooncrafter Nails and More. Oh my gosh. Have we talked about this before, Mooncrafter? If not, DM me at my Gmail, the Nosy Housefrau at Gmail, or Twitter. You can Twitter DM me. I'm the Nosy Housefrau on there, and I'd be open to talking to you about that. I'm very sorry. I don't know how I'd go on. I feel sometimes grateful that all I have to do is complain about online stupid stuff. I just can't believe it. It was American Monster episode. Okay, then I've probably seen it. But please do DM me, and I would be very interested. Is it an open case? Was it solved? Yeah, that is so sorry, Reese. Thank you for being so sensitive. American Princess, yes. But do you really think that that's her boyfriend, or do you like Moses? You're talking about Moses. I don't know. Can you say people's names anymore? I don't know. Maybe I'm committing a crime. Maybe it's at the state level, but I could do some hard time for saying people's names that they say and go by. Jamie R., you got it. There you go. For you. I'm happy to do that for you. Yeah. So without a crystal ball, I think some people are saying they think that she'll be gone. There's some weird stuff where she's done where if you haven't seen Creepshow Art's videos, it's a must. I'll link hers below, where she was talking about how she was contacted by DM by her, and then Without a Crystal Ball had said that YouTube wants them to work it out on their own, like stuff that would never happen. Sinlu, who says without a brain cell. Yeah. Quite contrary, they are still being wonderful. I love the raccoons. I still put them up on at Miss T the raccoon. She has her own Twitter where I put the critters. I post daily about the critters. I don't think I've missed a day. Maybe sometimes if you count after midnight. But Moses is not really her boyfriend. I think she's trying to hang in there through the holidays. Probably. I mean, it's really weird. There's a lot going on. She has a lot of irons in the fire, and I guess she's doing very well on TikTok. Trisha is. So I think she's like Nikocado Avocado, where I don't take anything she says seriously. I think Without a Crystal Ball's conflicts are a little more authentic. It's kind of weird. Everybody's suing everybody is just like the funniest thing. Like she's getting sued, and now she's suing everybody for non-issues after she said her lawsuit was frivolous. Now I think she's at least threatening to. I like when people go, I have my lawyer on speed dial. Like, he's a lawyer. He's not a wizard of law who can bend the truth, who can bend the law to your advantage. I don't particularly think anything will come of Tottie's lawsuit, but I don't know. You never know. There were some things said that didn't have disclaimers that were said as a matter of fact. Some people feel that she out and out said that this guy helped his own mother pass. And so, yeah. Somebody said, where is she getting all this money? I don't know. Somebody said one of her lawyers is her high school friend, but I have no idea. She's allegedly supposed to be getting a bunch more plastic surgery. Having so much money must make stuff easy. I don't know. You're talking about Trisha is getting a bunch more? Oh, yeah. She has some very expensive scars. She paid a lot of money for those scars. But do what makes you happy when it comes to plastic surgery. I sure would be fake from head to toe if I had the moolah. So good for her. I mean, it's her money. I think it's hilarious that she ate. This to me is the most offensive thing she's ever done. She ate Panda Express in a 6-figure car. You live in LA, you have a lot of money, and you choose to eat at Panda Express. That's what you choose to do? I'm going to sue you. I'm going to start suing people, okay? First, First, I'm going to sue people for not suing me. Okay. I need a career too. Why is everybody else getting sued? Okay. I could say names. And then I'm going to sue people for replacing ing at the end of a word with EEN. That's right. I'm suing. I'm sure it's upsetting, but I'm suing. And then then I'm going to sue people for having more subscribers. That's wrong. I'm going to sue her for eating at Panda Express and making us watch her eat at Panda Express. I'm going to sue her for not using napkins. No, Panda Express is not good. What did that say? Did I? Seriously? Panda Express is so disgusting. It is the most disgusting food. And let me tell you, well, I lived in LA for 8 years. I had tried it in like 1993. It is so gross. You'll be thinking mall Chinese food is gourmet. Okay, it's not bad Chinese food. It's inedible. It's inedible. She could be eating at Talisai, which is this amazing Thai food in LA. I mean, there's so many. There's, Mr. Chow. There's just like so many great restaurants. What are you laughing at? Oh, no, it's bad. It's bad. And she's eating it in a Rolls Royce, isn't she? Does she have like a, what does she drive now? A Bentley? She's got like a 6-figure Bentley or something like that. And she's sitting in it eating Panda Express. That's sacrilege. It's a disgrace to foodies everywhere. The orange chicken is making your mouth water just thinking about it. No, you can't have that. You're coming. Anybody who's eating Panda Express, you're coming to my house. We're going to social distance dine. I've got a long table. Don't type her name in my chat. I'll be getting a lawyer letter tomorrow. She had a GoFundMe. GoFundMe made her take it down? What happened? I guess I missed that one. There's too much to keep up with. It's too much. I had to tell my daughter not to eat Panda Express because Carrie said so. Tell her I forbid it. I know I'm not her mother and I don't know her. You know what? I'm going to go to the Panda Express and I'm going to wait outside, and when people come out, I'm just going to smack that stuff out of their hand. I'm going to hand them a picnic basket of food I made myself that is so much better. And then I'll get arrested and see them in court. You like it, Panda Express? You know what? Admitting you like Panda Express is the first step. Okay? We can fix this. Oh, crystal ball lady. He just says crystal ball lady. Yeah, we're talking about Perez Hilton. And then without a crystal ball, I just can't even believe it. I don't know. For all I know, this could get flagged. That would just be too funny. My first video in 2 months. It's so gross. It was like frozen freezer. My husband and I both ate there separately. Like, I think we ate there about a year before we met each other in the early 90s. And then we were both like, oh God, it was inedible. It was terrible. And then we got married and had a child. So thank you, Panda Express. There was a live tonight. That's why I was doing this live, Sin Luhu, because of that live where Margo went at him, and dang, she was spot on when she said, if you don't like the definition, don't be the definition. I'm paraphrasing, but it was basically that, stop it. Nobody's taking any excuses. No excuses. You don't talk to kids like that way. You don't talk to kids that way, period. Stop it. I don't want to hear what you are or aren't. We can take away the labels and look at the behavior and stop saying, I own it. I own it. It's not okay. Stop doing it. What does own it mean anyway? That has lost any meaning at all when people say I own it. Taking ownership of something is taking responsibility for it and saying you're going to change. You can't keep doing the same thing and just saying, it's okay, I own it. Oh, you didn't get a notification, Lily? Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Carla. Bean Square. Yeah, she was really great. She wasn't backing down. Somebody says, wait, now Dustin and Nick are together? Yes, they are. They are. And I've been married so long that I like to see young love. Just makes me so happy. They are moving into a big new place. It's probably going to be a housewarming party. And you know that I really like Nick's parties. Um, but they're very, very happy. And this was coming on for a while. But timing is everything. I look forward to the movie. Who should play them in the movie of their love story? Who do you think should play them? Julian Sands would be great, but he's too old. Far too old to play Nick, but Nick looks like a young Julian Sands. That's an old lady talking. So did you hear that supposedly Patty Page copied a brand called Lavender Boutique? No, she didn't. That was a while ago, I thought. That there was another beef there because I think, and this is allegedly, Lavender was talking to Gaz or something like that. But Petty Page is 100% original. You could tell. Like I don't even know all the details, but I know it didn't happen. This was a while ago though, that claim, and it was proven false. Kerry the Nosy Housewife. Yes, GoFundMe made her take it down because in the terms of service it states that you can't collect money for a legal defense if you've harassed someone else. Oh wow. Wait, a legal defense or a legal prosecution? She was doing a GoFundMe for the Toddy thing. Why would she even have to do that? She could just have people send it to her PayPal or Cash App, and then she would get to keep more of it. GoFundMe keeps so much of the money. It sucks. My stepson got robbed, and this was a couple years ago, and I set up a GoFundMe for him, and I didn't even get anything. I felt so bad. I've always been able to collect money for people, but I didn't get anything for that poor kid. He's wonderful. I love him. So cute since he was little. I had him since he was little. Well, shared him. My husband and his ex since they were little. It was like, no, she didn't, Raven said. I didn't know that. Wow. It's kind of weird how stuff like that happens. So yeah, she eats a Panda Express like she doesn't need to go. No, they're not talking about Trisha. Sorry, there's multiple conversations. I believe they were talking about Without a Crystal Ball. Without a Crystal Bill. Moving together. Wow, cool beans. I hope they have an NDA or an agreement. Never thought about that. They probably don't. It's built on trust. And it's been coming on for a long time. It's kind of something there. And then it was, probably, friend zoned for a little while. It's nice to see people have a solid, strong friendship and then it becomes something more. That's how my marriage started. Well, all right, I'll make this about me for a minute. Picture this. I'm at the karaoke and my husband comes up to me and says, "You have a beautiful voice." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, I really like this guy." We start talking and clicking and I just like the way he's looking at me. I was young and gorgeous. I'm trying to cut down on fake smoking. And I go into the bathroom and there's a girl crying over my husband that he's a user. You threw a stick in Lakewood and it would hit some woman who was comforting my husband who had been divorced. Or at least that's how I saw it. It was less than that. But when I saw that, when somebody said, "Wait, are you singing?" I do sing, April. I sang, that's how I met my husband at karaoke. And after I saw somebody crying over him in the bathroom, I was like, I cannot even, didn't want, you have to be willing to risk a lot of pain, I say it's worth it to be swept off your feet, even if you're going to be dropped on your ass. But I wasn't in that place. And so I friend zoned him and I was friends with him for 2 years, almost 2 years. And I really didn't understand why he always acted like he liked me so much. And I know that sounds terrible. I have low self-esteem. I know. But I was just like, why is this guy? Like, there was a girl that was so pretty. She was like 21 years old. My husband was 30. So he wasn't interested in her. Not everybody's interested in young people. Go figure. And bye, Caitlin. Go to bed. Bye-bye. Nice to see you. And I'll be on here for a few more minutes. So he didn't like her. He would be like, "Oh, you're going home?" And like he'd be all bummed. I remember driving home going over it in my head, why did he act so bummed I was leaving? Like, that guy likes me. And I was like, I would be happy to be this guy's friend for life. That's how much I like him. And then I was like, well, how stupid to not try for more. And then we went. He would come to hear me sing because I was one of those singing waitresses. I would waitress a little, sing a little. And so he would come to where I was working and singing. And then we would go out for breakfast. And we went out for breakfast with a bunch of people. And we were up all night. This is the mead. Yeah, this is the mead. I got reasonable. I'm getting mellow. Is the mead, is my moonshine bringing down the mood? It's moonshine. So yeah, we talked all night and laughed hysterically. Like my stomach was laughing so hard. Um, Someone says a lesbian youth means nothing. Humor, wit, and intelligence is everything. Aw, that's so nice. I agree. I love a funny man. I love a funny, nice guy. So good night. Yeah. So I went would laugh. Then we would go to breakfast and stay up all night and laugh. And then we just were dating, and I didn't realize we were dating right away. He's like, I thought this was a date. We literally did that thing where you're slow dancing and the music stops and you don't notice. I knew I was gonna marry him. That was really sweet. It was a beautiful, beautiful. Young lovers go out there and have a romance. Somebody said, I understand that Paige might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I wish people would lay off of her and her family is crossing the line. I totally agree. And I met her in person, and she's just as engaging and funny and intelligent. I'm not just blowing sunshine up her arse. I really like her. I've always liked her. And she's very cogent. I was very interested when she joined the conversation with Perez on the live, even though I didn't like the way he was dismissive of Margo. It's like, I don't even want to talk to her anymore. I don't even want to talk to her because she was saying things he didn't want to hear. And I thought Paige was very gracious considering he was bad mouthing her very best friend. Yeah, Paige is putting out a palette. Yeah. She is very real. And she somebody says chug. To Paige. To Paige and all my drama friends. So yeah, she was great. Yeah, I noticed she asked people to leave her alone because she's pregnant. And what do? They don't leave her alone. People, you can only count on people to suck. Yeah. Oh God. Somebody said I just joined. What are we talking about? Honestly, a little bit of everything. We crossed the gamut. We started on Perez Hilton, went to Without a Crystal Ball. Then I took shots at Panda Express. I don't want to hear the cease and express or whatever. Cease and desist. And they'll probably come for me. Trisha Paytas, James Charles, and gosh, who else, everybody. And then we were just saying nice things about Paige. So it wasn't all mudslinging. Come on. And then we're talking about mead. I'm making up for lost time. I've been talking for almost an hour, and I haven't been here in 2 months. Reese and desist. So yeah, I have been enjoying watching everybody, but I've watched from afar some things, and I've seen people. When you think about it, look at it this way: some of these people who hit each other's guts, they're coworkers. They're coworkers. They're running a business together. Without a critical thought? Oh, without a critical frog. Oh my gosh. Panda Express suing Mama Raccoon. Don't come for my raccoon. My lawyers are in the backyard. Their names are Loie, Middle Child, Miss T, Phoebe, and I've got some opossums that are interns, and they're lethal with the legal stuff. My raccoons are awesome. And I forgot, my stepson didn't realize when he was here the other day for Thanksgiving that there would be, oh, by the way, everybody, I just got a COVID test back last Sunday, I think it was, negative. Very happy to say that. We just got to keep doing what we're doing, washing our hands, social distancing. We'll get through this. We'll get through this together. He didn't know. He was like, you have raccoons? Hey, Dee. Hey, bestie. They were like, you have raccoons? I was telling people about our podcast. This is Davita, everybody. You know, the girl I was telling you about? We do a crime podcast together where we tell you what happened and then we tell you what we think about what happened. And we do have our thoughts. And Dee is wonderful on there. I love her wit and her off the cuff kind of expression. Isn't Lou like Dee? Everybody loves Dee. Bye, Desiree. Pink Fuzzy says, what do I have to do to get a family of raccoons to visit me in my house? Well, leave food out for starters. Like start feeding a cat. And the next thing you know, you see a cat that's got like a real good smoky eye. But these little ones, the ones that come in and help themselves and leave, they've been coming here since they were little. So, no, I like your opinions. So what my stepson was like, oh my gosh, I want to see them. And he had his camera out while one came in to him and was like a little unsure of him, didn't know him. It was one of the more shy ones, Phoebe's babies. And it went up and it like took the food and it waddled out this big butt. He was just like, I just fed a raccoon. I'm like, wow, I got to start inviting people. And it's like a little tour group. Hey, Emily. Yes, Kay, I'm negative. Oh, thank you very much. You missed my impression of James Charles. I can't do it so good right now. But yeah, he was like, I don't want to give her the attention, but I'm going to give her the attention. Aw, raccoons. The only reason that I don't want to... But honestly, what she said about him was horrible. How his friendship was like inappropriate. She's holding on to that YouTube coin. She's no dummy. He's like, I don't want to give her attention, but she gets you to give her attention. You're talking about her. She wins. Cha-ching. She's sitting back there going, and you know what? Serves him right because he got his career started on a lie. How do you like it? Hey, Mariah Bird. Somebody says, what shocks me most about Toddy and her successful businessman hubby is due diligence much. They went into business with someone they didn't check out. Did they, though? I don't know if that's true. I do know there was something with the guy they were in business with. I do know that in California, verbal contracts with anyone over 18 years old are legal and binding. Very often, agents no longer have written contracts. In fact, my son's first written contract with his agent was pages and pages. 4 years later, when it was time to renew, everybody had already transitioned to verbal. Because in some ways, in some instances, you have a little more protection with that. Some people prefer it because they don't know that the black and white suits them. So, oh, Delilah, you're having some too? There you go. Come by. Yeah, so some people, you can be held to that. There were people going, well, they didn't have a written contract. Not because they're not smart, because they are. That person who had that contract with them sounded like they have had a lot on them. It said their partner didn't actually have the finances to invest. Is that true? I didn't know that. I did not know that. But none of that really matters to me because that's you're really getting into he said, she said stuff with those contracts. They said this and he said this. And does any of this really matter? Because it doesn't really speak to who these people are. You know, he had to borrow. Well, everybody borrows to get a business going. I don't know if he borrowed it from his dad. I don't know if he had it or not. I mean, it's so easy for people to fabricate facts there. So somebody said, love Faith, sending her and her family much love. She's awesome. She is. So, somebody says, let's send some positive vibes to Faith and her family. They truly need it. Their daughter's having surgery. And Faith is extraordinary. I met her too, by the way. She was a sweetheart in person as well. Kind of quiet, and but very, very sweet and easy to be around. And I saw her talking to, who was she talking with? And I think he made a phone call for her, Nady. He's a sweetheart as well. Just like everybody was so nice when I went to Houston. They had the money. Wait, you're saying that they went in business with a partner, but only they had the money to invest? Because I heard it was the other way around. I heard it was like you know who I heard it from. The only person I've heard who tried to make James Westbrook sound like Scarface. Candy says, I'm a middle school secretary and I get tested every other week. Wonderful. Yes, that's very good. You should, yeah. I'm so glad you're okay. I will leave this up for a little bit, Mrs. 10 Years After. I don't usually leave up lives very long, but I do leave them up. They had 400K. He had 200K. So then what do they need him for? Do they need his 200K? I mean, it's really hard to guess. I mean, who really knows those figures? Where did those figures come from? How do we know they're factual? When you're talking about all of the he said, she said with a law situation, I am. I'm doing very well. Thank you. When you're talking about that kind of a situation, you really have to get both sides of it because you're always going to find out that something you heard, don't know how, but it's going to be wrong. Something you heard from somebody, like somebody told you something, you're going to be like, but they said that and I believed it. It's going to be completely inaccurate and it's going to change. It's going to really change. And none of that matters. Like, do you really care? I do not care how Toddy keeps her lights on. I have more people to worry about, you know? Oh, he was supposed to have all this experience running this kind of a business, but her brother said it was a lie, his experience. Well, how did he get involved with him then? I mean, if he was able to sell himself, then he's a salesman. And if they hooked up with him, they had some kind of a rapport, even if he was just a good talker. That's what you need in business anyway. Hi, thank you, Olivia. Oh, thank you. Uh, so it's kind of hard. Like they didn't just walk into a Wendy's and see a guy sitting there and go, "Hey, want to be in business with us?" Something happened, and we're never gonna know. Somebody says, "Of course she's doing she's blotto on wine, twerking." That's so not nice. It's mead. It's the moonshine. My stepson, who's a chef, made, and I'm telling you, I haven't even had maybe 7 sips, and man, I'm telling you, it's strong. Bye, Mrs. 10 Years. Thank you for staying so long. Oh, TDR, Daily Random. Thank you for bringing up the drama with Dr. Mike. I so appreciate it because I forgot I should have taken notes and had this on the list. Okay. Dr. Mike, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He's more dreamy than Dr. McDreamy. He's a perfect specimen of a man who he was gangly when he was younger, right? Kind of like not quite shoved in a locker, but kind of invisible. Then all of a sudden, he became a doctor, and all of a sudden, he's gorgeous. Like the ugly duckling left town and came back a swan. So it's natural that with all this academia and his sudden um, uh, fame as being gorgeous, a gorgeous doctor, partying a little. Okay, but we happen to be in the middle of a pandemic, and there's all kinds of videos of him saying, "Don't party, social distance, wear a mask." He went on a boat with his friend, who said people were tested. I don't know if they were or weren't, but there they all are without masks, huddling close. Kind of dumb, right? But young, he's partying, he's famous as can be, and everybody wants him. He went from being invisible to being the hottest guy that everybody wants. And if you've ever seen this guy, his teeth alone could have their own Instagram. And I was watching Def Noodles' video on it today, and I was laughing out loud because he's actually more sarcastic than I am, if that's possible. And he's saying, "Hi, awkward girl. Hi, mom. Hi, mom. Mitch. Oh, thank you, awkward girl." So he's actually, oh, thank you. He's on this boat. He's having a good time. No mask, and then he gives a speech. But Def Noodles was so funny. Like you know his sarcasm. It's like so thick. He's the CEO, president at Sarcasm headquarters. And I wrote under there, "Listen, I know you can't buy shirts that fit. They're a size too small, and his glasses look like a prop more than his actual glasses. But he's a very good-looking doctor, so I think we all know he cannot be held accountable or guilty of anything. I know I'm right. Look it up. You can't. You leave Dr. Mike alone. He's gorgeous. He's a gorgeous doctor, and so therefore he does nothing wrong. I mean, he's got like a hairline that's gorgeous. Those teeth could have their own Instagram. He's a very good-looking man. But seriously, what a dipshit. The world is watching him, and he goes on a boat in the middle of a pandemic. We can't even get people who say to do the right thing to do the right thing. But he apologized. We'll see if he goes the Tana Moju route and apologizes and does it again. Better to ask forgetfulness than permission. Somebody said, when she posted that video by sister, I remember it so vividly. I was getting ready for work, and I saw the video pop up, and I was like, that's what I think the emoji is doing. Somebody said, I thought so differently of James after that, and I didn't know what to think of her. At the time, even though I did not like James Charles very much, I still don't really like him, but I think he's shown personal growth a lot, and people should be allowed to do that. at the time, my feeling, and I think my videos are still up about that, my take was bold claims require bold evidence. And I don't like when people are always, I think some people refer to this as a microaggression for people of color, but I think that it happens. Gay people are often just ever so slightly sometimes hinted at being perverted, right? He's a pervert. He's trying to get straight guys, and I didn't like that at all. He was young. He's trying. Um, says, as a gay lady, I always appreciate the opinions of straights because aesthetically, I don't get it. That's funny. You're going to laugh at this quite contrary. One of my best friends is a lesbian, and we were having a conversation when she first moved back to Cleveland Heights from San Francisco. I was at their house and we're having a conversation, and I'm friends with her wife too. But I knew my other friend first for we've been friends for 27 years now. And we're talking, and I said, I feel sorry for you because you don't have a penis in your life. And she goes, what are you talking about? We got 6 of them. Somebody said there's been drama with Dr. Mike since he started on YouTube. I'm not surprised by his behavior at all. Raphael, I had no idea. I just thought he was like a perfect specimen of a man who was like perfect personality. But I definitely saw that he was, didn't mind talking about how thirsty people were. Well, let's wait on patience. And they're like, you're so beautiful, you marry me. And he's like, let's just talk about your health. Somebody says, I'm starting to think that some of JC's arrogance is self-defense. He was very young, but extremely self-centered. And I don't think it was all self-defense. I think he was always like, very like ambition. A lot of people are like, I'll do anything to get to that place. And then when they've achieved it, the ends justify the means. And then they can be like kind of self-righteous about the fame that they've acquired when we know how it happened. So he's nobody to talk to Trisha Paytas and tell her that she's only famous because of X, Y, and Z, because he's done the same things. Absolutely anything. Somebody says, I don't find him attractive either, but I'm 21. So you don't find Dr. Mike attractive? Well, maybe you need a doctor. What do I know? Henry Cavill is perfect. And you know what, Sinluhu? It's so funny. My son and I have a joke about him. My son, we both like Henry Cavill, but my son will go, F that guy. He looks like that, and he's got an English accent, and he looks like that. F him. He's like a great actor. He's great looking, and now we like him. It's just funny, but he's crazy hot looking, or what we call freakishly good looking. What was Mike's original drama? Glammy Lammy asks. I want to know that too. Raphael, what did he do before? Do tell. We're all listening. Angel Gott says, I find you so funny. Thank you. I'll be funnier if I have a little more of this moonshine. Bye, Daily Random. Okay, Raven Thunder says, you like The Grinch? It's my favorite Christmas time movie because I personally am a Grinch myself. You're a mean one, Raven Thunder. The Sinlu who says, spill it, Raphael. Maybe Raphael stepped away. I don't get it twisted. Yeah, it's really called mead. My stepson made it with honey and blood oranges, but I call it moonshine because it's strong. It's sweet, but it's strong. Dr. Mike isn't even my type, and wow, he's smoking. He's very good looking. I can't imagine that he wouldn't be anybody's type. But he does have an intensity, maybe. He's like, well, I live alone, and there's a little bit of something of a ladies. You know what I mean? Like when a guy's like, ladies. Well, what could he do? He didn't ask to be revered and have women climbing over each other to get to him. All the thirst. He should read thirst tweets, right? Did he already do that? Some of those are funny, you guys. Henry Cavill read thirst tweets, and it's very funny. Wow, YouTube recommended me. You recommended this live. Wow, thank you, YouTube. It's a wonderful welcome back. I really appreciate you. And I'm sorry I said penis. I'll try to block that out. Boop, boop. I'll have to take out a name or two so I don't go to court. Somebody said, what's going on with Perez Hilton? Kelly, you are late. I went through the whole thing on this very live. So maybe you can watch. I'm going to leave it up for a while so you can watch it. But basically, he and Margo Indigo were on a live stream because she has been coming for him for months for his inappropriate behavior. By the way, you guys, did you see he also went for Nick Snyder? He said something about him too that really pissed me off. Whoops. About how his OnlyFans isn't worth it or something like that. It's like, screw you. Why are you talking like this to people? He goes, people know that I really go in when I don't like people, I go low or something, or he says something mean. It's like, why? You don't have to do that. You know, I told him on Twitter, I said, you have age and money. You should show the wisdom in the class to go with it. You know? So thank you, Angel. Happy holidays. Thank you so much. Somebody said Perez is cringe. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know he would go that low. I knew he had said dumb stuff in the past, but I felt like because he had fallen from grace a little bit, that it had humbled him, and maybe he'd be interesting to watch. He seemed to love his kids and be good with his kids. He's an a-hole. He was calling Margo a junkie. And when asked about that, he's like, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I said it. I don't regret it. Kanye said they felt your disappointment. Somebody said they think that Britney Spears is in the position she's in. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who that was, Gabby, but I know he was inappropriate. Like he felt like a young kid came for him. So he would say like something inappropriate back. And he thought that was okay. People had to tell him. And Margaret was even like doing this. She's like, you have to be told that's a child. There are some people who creep me out when they don't seem to understand that children don't get talked to or related to the same way as adults. That's weird. That's just very weird. But I'm going to let you guys, listen back if you want to. I've been doing it. I've been on here for over an hour, and it's been wonderful to connect with everybody again. And I really appreciate it. I will get back to doing videos soon. I haven't had too much to say, and I've been kind of in a funk with everything, but doing okay. Coming out of it and hanging in there, COVID free. So I've avoided the Rona, and I hope to be back to making videos soon. Like I said, I haven't really felt the need to chime in, and I've been mulling over some of this without a crystal ball because I don't really want to pile on, but at the same time, I think that it's okay to have a voice when you see people having their videos being striked because somebody wants to get their information probably. And then people trying to break into people's Instagrams and just these kind of really in-depth attacks. I think there's a level that you shouldn't go to because when you start coming for people the way this person has, what seems to have happened to me, what I see is the way she went for Toddy, it became part of her identity. It became something that she seemed to identify with and became part of who she was, and it became how she was living. She was spending her time. When you come for people that much that you don't like, you're putting them in your life. You really have to think about how much do I want these people in my life? Have your say and walk away. But by all means, do not go into people's vital statistics, finding out they had past records, finding the video is on Erin's channel, Mama. Hold on, it's at the top when she first came in, Mama Joy. And it says Perez Hilton and Margo Indigo, and she was in here earlier. I'm going to link it below this video, so I'll do that right after this. Okay. So thank you, Gabby. I so appreciate that. Yeah, 2020 has been hard on everybody. Quite contrary, you're so right. So yeah, it was obsessive, and there was this kind of need to feel. Like I don't know, there's just kind of this strange, almost Munchausen need for attention. So I don't know. Somebody says, I love Peter Mon's video that shed light on what he said and spoke out against speaking about somebody's sobriety like that. I didn't see it, but I know that that's something that's near and dear to his heart as somebody who is sober, and he knows what it takes. I can only imagine. But I know Margo is wonderful person, and she said it doesn't hurt her, but it doesn't matter. She doesn't need to have that thrown in her face about Perez. Without a crystal ball, she was living her life for that. and spending so much time on it, and didn't even really worry so much about fact checking as looking like she had the facts. So, oh, somebody said Shane is trying to make a comeback. I saw that. He's at the end of Ryland's videos, very strategically at the end of his videos, and is doing what a lot of people do. Rather than address things head on, he's going to just try and wait till people forget, until it's water under the bridge. And he's probably considering himself in a probationary period, but I don't think so. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. About the other job, about the weird collar guy. I forgot about that. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. I can't believe all you people showed up on such short notice. And it was really great to talk to you all again and reconnect and dip my toe in some of the drama that's going on. I'm going to try and pay a little bit closer attention this week now that Thanksgiving's over and I have a little more time. Um, Thank you. Love to all of you. And I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone. Going to end the stream and I'll be back. Night, all.